Mike, turn your games down.
Sorry, bro. Episode 292 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's in the bayou with me tonight?
Hey, it's your boy Alan. Just here, getting muddy. It's a good time in the swamp.
Je m'appelle Sampson. Vous pouvez me trouver sur ma chaîne YouTube Rich Kale. And for those of you who don't know French or aren't from New Orleans, my name is Richard Sampson. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Rich Kale, as well as some other sites where I have fiction up. And it was a joy to go through the bayou in New Orleans.
Hey, we do have some French listeners, I'm pretty sure. Whether they listen to every episode, I don't know, but I do know this show gets downloads in France every so often. So, hey, you never know.
Well, sorry if I butchered it. It's been years since I've had to use any French. Now I'm really curious. Let's see if we have anything in France. Yep, we actually, this month, we had 43 downloads in France. So there is a possibility that somebody from France will listen to this episode.
Or
so
you just have 43 expats who just really like the show.
I'll take it. So we are here to talk about a game that has two different names. Assassin's Creed Liberation. That's essentially what I consider it. I don't consider Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. So
Yeah, it's set around the similar.
yeah, I mean the original.
I get it, but
The original name was that, and then they have the HD version that comes out where they take away the 3 and just call it Assassin's Creed Liberation. I like the Japanese name. It's Assassin's Creed Lady Liberty.
Freedom Lady.
So,
Well, it is appropriate. I mean, this is our first playable female assassin.
yeah, and it will be for a couple more games still before we get another one.
Yeah, that's nuts.
The Syndicate.
Mm.
Is the next one that actually that has that. And this was developed by Ubisoft Sofia and came out originally for the Vita in... Why does it not have the year? Okay, there we go. 2012 originally, then the HD version came out in 2014, and then the remaster version came out in 2019. Because I had to click little show links to see what each of the years were.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I use Wikipedia every single week, multiple times a week for this podcast to get years. And it's the first time I had to click a button like that and go, wait, what? So that was the shock that
Also,
you had there for a second.
how long that's been now is nuts.
That too. Like I played this originally. I didn't have a Vita. I didn't play this until 2019, maybe 2018. I played this on a PS3 collection. That was my first time playing it. Because there was a really good PS3 box copy that had Assassin's Creed 3, Liberation, and 4. It was called the America Trilogy or something like that. Some stupid name they gave it. Yes. And that's how I first played it. I played this game once before. I remember it was a short, fun experience. No issues on PS3. And then I played it for this episode. And Alan, what is your history with it?
Oh, I played it blind. This was actually my first time playing it.
Nice.
Was for the show. I had heard about it. I wasn't as interested just because I didn't have a Vita until super late. As in, like, I think right when it got discontinued, I bought one for the cheap. And I think I only have the Metal Gear Solid collection on it. So never bought it for that.
That's fair. And Richard.
So I played it through sorry, I forgot it. I played it through the Xbox version of the remaster for 3.
Okay, that was probably better.
The first time I ever loaded it up, it crashed, but that was it after that.
Okay. Yeah, that's Ubisoft for you, though.
Yep, that's how it goes.
It's crashed for me a few times, so I was on PC.
Yeah.
And Richard, what about you?
First time playing it. And yes, I do know about those sudden, whoop, there it went. Crashes. Doesn't give you an announcement when it's coming, though, but it was definitely a new experience playing it, especially with our lead being able to change outfits to do certain things.
Which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's fine.
Yeah, it was kind of like take it or leave it on it.
Yeah.
It made sense, though.
It does, and it adds something unique, which is what they were going for.
Yeah. Not bad unique, in my opinion.
No, it's not bad. I just didn't care for it as much, mainly because when I was in the dress and I was a noble lady, I couldn't climb. So therefore, it affected me wanting to do things and not wait.
Well, you could climb a ladder.
Yes, but I couldn't climb the tower to get the eagle point that I hadn't grabbed yet in this area that I just got over to.
Yeah.
Small complaint. I mean, it was fine. It doesn't... They needed to do something different because this Assassin's Creed feels more like 2 than it does 3 because like the combat was very much kind of like how 2 is, where you just kind of can hold, and you can just counter really easily for the most part. Like, it wasn't as complex as 3 was in the remastered version that I played. And I'm okay with that. I liked the combat for the most part. I did have a couple problems, but I'm not sure exactly what I was doing wrong or if the game was just being glitchy, because this game had a lot of running issues for me.
Of course, you were also playing the more original version.
I think I was. I think I was playing the HD version and not the remastered version. I think that was the issue.
Yeah, I was playing the remastered version because I was quite surprised I could access it through Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, I thought I didn't have it because of that.
Yeah, I was just playing the HD version. That was my issue. Yes, because there's Liberation HD and then the 3 remaster, which I also own on Steam, but because of the way I bought it, I can't play it without a whole bunch of. But so okay, that's why I had more issue. That makes sense.
And I have to admit, this was the first. It was a very unique way to open the game because it introduces you to a experience, like a game from Abstergo.
Yeah, get used to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's supposed to be the evolution of where they're going with Abstergo. I mean, I don't know anything really past Rogue, and I don't even remember 4 and Rogue very well, but that's what this is leading to.
Yeah,
so, I mean, where Abstergo now, since Desmond is dead, spoilers. Now you're playing as you're now doing what they're using. You're essentially just like this. This game's supposed to be the whole idea, the whole like real life version of it in the Assassin's Creed world is that it's a VR game that a game that you're playing.
Yeah, that's the feel I got. But I like how our protagonist, Eveline, is really a representation of someone who is an underdog in those times.
Oh, God, yes.
Putting it lightly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she is half African. She is female, which is definitely 2 strikes. She's not even recognized as a legitimate daughter to her father. I mean, they know that she's a daughter to her father, but they can't recognize her as that because she is of African descent.
I mean, this fits the time so well. I mean, what it would be like, it's not. Probably would be worse, way worse than what the game's actually showing us. But it's nice that we get a really good look into, like, the 1700s, and America was a shit place at this time. Like, for people, like, slavery is a huge part of the economic of the country and the world, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
So it doesn't shy away from it. It doesn't show all the darker parts of it, but it doesn't shy away from it.
No, it doesn't, because well, let's face it, New Orleans has always been, it's had that air of it, that there is always the mystery. It's heavily influenced by the African culture that has grown up in that area. I mean, you're talking New Orleans has always been a place for like voodoo and all that.
Yeah.
So
it's a pleasant cultural nexus for that kind of stuff. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like at the time I was playing through this, I'm like, I was dealing with 3 games that had settings in New Orleans.
And how many involve vampires? I feel like I do involve vampires, at least.
No, none of them involved vampires.
I'm surprised.
Well, let's see. When I played this, I'm still also working through both the stories of Alone in the Dark, which is set at a manor in New Orleans, not too far from New Orleans. So there is a voodoo influence in there, but also Lovecraftian tones in it. And I was working my way on through the remake of Sherlock Holmes: The Awakening, and I just got into the New Orleans parts of that game.
Oh, nice.
So
I just assumed that there was a chance that there was somehow that there would be vampires involved, just because that when you think New Orleans, for me, I think vampires.
now, that is one hell of a that I don't think vampires when I think of New Orleans. I think of voodoo. I mean, let's face it. I played Sins of the Father, the first Gabriel Knight game. That sets place in New Orleans. That's heavily voodoo influenced.
Apparently, you never read or watched Interview with the Vampire. That's
No.
where my brain went to. So
I did. I get you. I'm with you.
also, Anne Rice lived in Louisiana or lived in New Orleans when she wrote the Interview with the Vampire book. I'm actually going to go when I go to. I'm going to go to New Orleans some point next year, or the year after. I want to go down there. And I'm going to go see her old house because I'm that
nice.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I feel bad. I just go to Saint Denis. I just go to Red Dead Redemption, and it's a little nod to vampires by the interaction you get with one.
I mean, with all the Lovecraftian games I play, my mind will go to anything Lovecraftian.
Fair. Completely fair.
Well,
On to the game.
is Masquerade Bloodlines or any Masquerade game part of New Orleans as well, or feature it?
Never played any of them.
Neither have I.
Me neither. But I hear Masquerade, and that's like I immediately am like, oh, this has to take place in New Orleans. I
Same.
don't know why.
Okay.
No, I mean I think the exact same thing. So it's not you.
Okay, good.
It's just where our brain goes to.
It's either that or France, right?
Well, let me look it up.
So I like how because this game takes place over. I didn't look this up, but it takes place over the years.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
I like
it
how
does.
they do it.
65 to like 77.
Damn, that's pretty good. Like, because you see her first, you see her as a little kid for a very small sequence where she loses her mother, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense at first, and then you see scenes where she is now older and she's having a nightmare, and then her stepmom's like, it's okay. And then she's like, can't waste the night on sleep, and that's how you find out she's an assassin.
Actually, that is a beautiful way to start the game,
It
showing her as a little girl before she even got mixed up with the Assassins and the Templars. Although she
And
was
the
already
Steve's
mixed
drama.
up with the Templars, too. Spoiler.
Good save.
I like it personally a lot,
Yeah.
so you won't hear me complain.
It's not a revenge story yet. There's that.
Yeah.
No, and it kind of like is. 'Cause I want to say this came out right around the time 3 did originally, because it
Yeah.
was the Vita
Yeah.
version of, it was give you something for your handheld for the people that couldn't play 3 otherwise.
Yeah. And that's one thing, that is a plus for it. They get their own adventure, and it does add to the lore of the series. We see the Templars rising in the colonies, and then the Assassins coming back with a resurgence in the colonies through Assassin's Creed 3. But
Yeah, and
Louisiana
this-
was a French colony that turned to Spanish, I think, or Spanish that turned to French, one of the two.
Well, it was French, then Spanish come and take over, and then eventually, because did we buy it from the French?
Yeah, we did.
So the French must come back then at some point and take over again.
Yeah.
Seems about right. Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, the Louisiana Purchase was France.
Yes, it was.
So I'm like, wait a second, but yeah, and I think Spain falls apart at some point, but I can't remember. Like, I can't remember what it is that makes that, because I do remember in history that Spain was such a big powerhouse for a time, and then
yeah.
eventually I think they fall apart. But I don't remember what triggers it. Not important, but making me
That's
think.
good context if we knew. If only we had a history guy. That'd be great.
I do, but he didn't want to come on for this one.
That's good. It's fine. I just wish that this game had saved the Vita, and kept it alive. Vita means life.
I mean, that Sony could have saved the Vita. Sony chose not to.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I would say that.
But no, it would have been nice had the Vita, because I know there's some great freaking games on the Vita, and I look forward to someday playing lots of them on emulation.
See, this is where Sony got into the gaming market in the 1990s, mid-90s. Nintendo already had its foothold in since the 80s. They started in with the handheld gaming and worked on it. I mean, let's face it, when Sega went forward with its Game Gear, hey, you can play it in color. Oh, by the way, it's going to eat your batteries like they're candy, and it takes 6 of them while that Game Boy takes 4. They had a good, strong foothold in the portable market area. So given the time the Vita did have, that was a plus for it.
But they did nothing with it to
Yeah,
keep
they just
that
didn't
momentum.
care. And I mean, I bet this game is probably better if I play the remastered version like I thought I was doing, or if you play the Vita version. Like, 'cause this game felt like it was made for a handheld. It had good missions that were short enough checkpoints. It was all very good in that, and I appreciate it. The world map is also much smaller. You really just have Louisiana. Louisiana. You have New Orleans, and then you also have the Bayou, and then you have a little bit of Mexico, Chichen Itza, where you go to a couple times.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that you'd think that, I understand that, but if you've held a Vita and you have to deal with its quote-unquote touch thing in the back, where would be like L2 and R2, you're not going to enjoy a lot of games that way. It's not accurate all the time. Let's say that.
Okay. I've only played Vita a little bit once in my life, but it wasn't much.
Mhm.
The Silent Hill Book of Memories game. That was it.
When it works,
You
it works
can't-
awesome and it's really cool, but it's not. I wish it could have been like the Steam Deck's touchpad in the back. That would have been, I think, a better option.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, when Vita emulation becomes more normal, I'll play it on my Steam Deck, and I can't wait.
Yeah, there you go.
It
Of
might
course
already
you
be
will.
there I just don't know it as well. Like I have it. It's not something that some of the websites I like have it, so I don't know about it as much. But I mean, it's you never know. I'm still waiting for Xbox emulation to get really perfected. That's what I'm excited for.
Original
There's a
Xbox
lot. There's a
players.
few Xbox titles I've been waiting years to play.
I only want to play 2. I only want to play Crazy Taxi 3 and Jet Set Radio Future. That's it.
I want to play Breakdown and Otogi
You
1
can
and 2.
you could. Those are available right now on Xbox.
I own them, but I don't. They don't have save states, and I need save states.
You
Breakdown's
always
hard.
need save states.
Breakdown's hard. I've tried it when I was younger.
I have to. I will say that it's a hard game.
I couldn't do it, and I really want to enjoy it someday. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's why. That's the whole. I mean, but also, I love emulation. There's
Respect.
that too.
Yeah. This.
But I mean, New Orleans felt good. I enjoyed running around New Orleans more than I think I enjoyed New York and stuff in 3. It just felt better.
I enjoyed it more than the Bayou.
Bayou was fucking awful, but it's different. It's fine that it's different because it's also not. You don't have to do it a whole lot, but man, I do not like climbing trees in Assassin's Creed games. That's
Never
100% fact.
I had very little problems with the climbing of the trees and the bayous. My issue was more or less while in New Orleans. I mean, well, you can switch to either assassin, slave, or lady. It could be such a hassle. I mean, when you are a slave, just one little toe out of because you're running and you accidentally step up on a bridge and wanted posters everywhere. Like what the? All I did was just one step.
Sometimes you wouldn't even step. I think I triggered it just by running, just like a slight
Probably
jog.
in the wrong area.
Straight. No, just down the street in broad daylight, and they're just like, "Nah, that's suspicious." And I'm like, "Sure, okay."
Yeah, no, there was a lot. I mean, they do warn you that when you're in the slave persona, you're gonna be like, your notorious rate goes up faster. But it's easy to get down. But yeah, no, they are really annoying with that.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah.
I like
get it
that
too.
with each one, there was like 2 ways you could do. There was like different ways you could do it. For the slave, you'd had to rip down the posters. For the assassin, you had to bribe the corrupt officials. But also, if you leave that persona for a while, and it takes a while for it to cool down, all you have to do is just leave them for a while, and it cools down on its own.
True. I just don't have the patience for that. I'm like, I'm just gonna. I don't like that they did separate the forms of losing notoriety between the 3 and split it up. Like, I think the slave can only do wanted posters, and I think the assassin can do the bribe, and then the lady can only
The lady
seduce.
can do the bribe.
Oh, okay. And then I think the lady can also like seduce, right? Or is that just for
Charm.
Charm.
Yeah, it's seduced, but yes, charm.
My
He
bad.
wasn't wrong.
Point being that like it was, yeah. I'm like, I mean, at least for the wanted posters, like I think they all could do it.
But it only affected the slave. They didn't put up wanted because when you're in the assassin thing, you are always
Wanted. Somewhat, yeah.
that I didn't really like, but it made sense. I mean, it made complete sense. Like you're walking around with this outfit, like, come on now. They should be like, wait a second, why do you have swords hanging off your side? And I know I've seen that costume. Somebody wearing that and murder people. Like, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that it never went down to 0. That does make some sense. But of course, if you're not doing anything, they're like, can we grab them right now? No, we have to wait until they do something. They can walk around without, causing a problem.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we're talking also in the simpler days when we didn't have like photo recognition or anything like that.
No, fair.
I mean, even now, I still wonder how Clark Kent can get away with pretending to be need glasses when he's actually Superman, not be recognized by photo recognition software.
Photo recognition software, yes. People, no, I completely believe the people part. People are stupid. So, completely believe that part. Photo recognition, you are right, though.
I'm sure the in-lore reason is something Wayne Corp would do something to specifically make that fail.
You know what? I completely believe that. It probably is somewhere, because that makes perfect sense for...
Yeah, every single Wayne Tech labeled camera probably is like, we don't know that particular, like, and no one questions it, just, nope.
Never seen that guy before.
Never seen that guy. Mm-mm.
But it is beautiful how they did set this up. I mean, it does play very smoothly as you work through the missions. And there's also things that you can help find in the lore. Even some of the achievements you can get throughout the game are kind of easy and fun to get. It makes sense if there are only certain people can do it. I mean,
collectibles aren't too bad either.
Still not worth getting though.
No, they never are.
Yeah, there's not really much of a reward for these ones. I just wish some of them would give you more key on how much you have to do yet. I mean, I did the biofever one. I'm like, okay, did I get them all? I have no idea if I got them all. I'm running around the whole bayou trying to find all the other people that have bayou fever.
I did not do that one.
No, I didn't want to be in that swamp any longer than I had to be.
Oh, I hunted down all the alligators. That was fun.
I killed.
Oh yeah, getting the eggs was pretty fun.
I mean, it's
But
quite.
I didn't go after all of them.
Well, the AI for the gators was kind of not good. It was pretty funny. You could
Yeah,
just basically just kind of kite them in a circle and then steal the egg and done.
Oh, I took the time to kill them. Maybe because it was fun.
Was
Yeah,
there
yeah,
a
yeah.
map that shows you like what to do for the eggs, like where to find them? I never bought any. I didn't really do much in the shops.
never-
in this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never messed with the shops either, so I don't know.
I mean, I bought
think
some new weapons. I didn't see
I-
any maps or anything.
Yeah, I didn't see any maps, but you could also come across them quite easy enough. Like if you're
Fair.
Eagle vision, I think, would help.
sometimes.
And I
I
think
mean,
there
I
was
did-
only like what 10 anyway.
Yeah, only 10. No, actually
Yeah, there
12.
weren't a
12,
lot.
12.
12. Okay.
I mean, I did
There were-
some of the alligators. I did some side stuff when it came up, but I really wasn't interested in it. I just wanted to get through this game because the HD version is really janky. Like, I have played a lot of Assassin's Creed at this point, and I was having issues where Aveline would not do what she was supposed to do. She wouldn't climb up something simple. Like, there were, even on a ladder, like, swinging across a ladder to get to the other side, even that had issues sometimes. Like, she just
Yeah, I
wouldn't
had a
do it.
lot of issues with like missed jumps and just being like, why'd she jump here? Classic though.
I mean, it was worse than normal, and I was just like, and lots of crashes. Like, I played, up so far, we played, like, this is our 5th Assassin's Creed game, and, like, I haven't had many issues, and I was having tons of fucking issues
6.
with glitches and crashes, and it was just, I still played the game, but it was just annoying.
Yeah, and this was our 6th one.
Oh, 6th one? Okay. Yeah, because there's one, then, okay, yep. Math hard when you don't count very well. I think I forgot one of them.
Yeah.
Or I did forget one of them, I don't think, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
This was, but it moves the story along nicely, so you don't necessarily
Yes.
have everything. I mean, first off, you find out your father's business is having some rough times due to competition, so you have to go around and, in her own way, take care of it. Her father does know that she's an asset to the business, but of course, for all propriety's sake, because of the time, he has to give it to the young man there.
Is the young man his son?
No.
No.
Okay. The guy
If
who
it
works
was his son, it would make his affection.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was
kind
just
of odd.
this is the 1700s. I wouldn't question. Hey, they did some dumb shit. Cousins
And the
of
Deep
was
South,
never-
but
Yeah, but
Eh,
you're not
yes.
royalty, so it doesn't matter. It don't count. It's
And
not
this isn't an
accepted.
anime either.
It's accepted in royalty, not in the commoners.
Okay, I was just like just making sure.
Yeah.
Because not
Although
only
you
she
don't-
sleeps with them, but he's hitting on her all the time. So
I think there's a potential there for a relationship.
yeah, as long as it's not her brother, I don't know.
Yeah. I
was just
think they
making
make
sure.
actually a cute couple.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I liked how they do that. I appreciate that you are playing as an African woman in this time where, it's, so terrible for, still not great, but, it's so terrible for them. And like, they do a good job of it, and they do show like what's happened with slavery. And the whole point is you trying to free as many slaves as you can, and that you're part of the network of freeing people. Like, I think all that's very well done. And I think
Yeah.
it's good to have it because like when 3 ends, it shows that slavery is still happening. And then this game, which takes place during the same time frame as 3, shows her fighting against slavery.
Yeah, and they're doing what they can. So that is actually one of the few things I can say is a plus when it comes to things in this game. Although it also helps with the big reveal later.
Oh God, yes. Well,
But that's one of the things, and that's also a good reason why you can have Aveline switch between lady, slave, assassin.
and it also.
Her stepmother never asks how she gets these things done.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But I also like it that as another thing you do in this game, you take out rivals.
Yeah, because you're constantly killing Templars as the game goes on, which is nice. Like you kill the governor at one point, and then she's like, I gotta go. I like that.
This is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. She's like, yeah, I just assassinated the governor of New Orleans. I'm going to go out for a year or two in the bayou, and I ain't coming back.
Smart.
Well,
I mean, I do got to say the Assassins, I know that the reason why they are, because you essentially you're playing something that is made by the Templars to show that the Assassins aren't great, because Agati is not a good person, in my opinion. He's kind of a shitball, and like the idea that he's her master. Plus, there's not much for Assassins. Like, I mean, yes, you have the white guy that, you know, works with your father and stuff. But like when you think about like having a mentor, Agate, don't you kill Agate at the end of this game?
yeah, you eventually have to fight Agate, I believe.
Yeah, like, you know, right there, like he is all because you didn't kill a Templar and you're not doing what he said. So now he wants to kill you. Like he is not, they really do portray the Assassins in a bad light, which I think is good for this game because of who is the one telling the story, creating the story for us to see. So I think that's well done. Plus, it's just the idea that they call it the Assassin Brotherhood, but it's not really a brotherhood. There's very, very few assassins in this game compared to what we get in in 3, you just have Achilles, but there's a lot more to that we find out in 4 and Rogue, if I remember correctly. That's all expanded. Like why there's only Achilles.
But
aren't I right, Alan?
Yeah. Wait, in what? In 3?
4 and Rogue take place before, or one of them takes place before 3, if I remember correctly.
4 takes place before 3, yes. And then Rogue is, I think, the same time as 3.
Okay, because I know
4.
there's things that happen in them.
That timeline gets a little wonky with those games because I haven't played much of Rogue. That's the only problem.
Good game.
But 4 is definitely.
No, I haven't either. But I feel like they do explain why it's only Achilles that is the only assassin around. Like I'm pretty sure they explain what happens to everybody in those games.
Yeah, I think he described it early on in 3 that like they kind of abandoned their ambitions in that area, and then Achilles was like the only one who remained just because I can't remember why.
Killed.
A reason.
I thought a lot of them got killed too.
Yeah, something like that. They got driven out.
So it's just cool to see too that there's just so few of them, and it's also makes sense because so much time has passed into days of Ezio that things just aren't the same anymore, and we're a different continent.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Did you guys use the canoe in the bayou much?
I mean,
From time to
it was
time.
kind of fun.
It got stuck on me a couple times and like really stupid things. And I was like,
That's the thing, right? You're like having fun, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, can't go no further. Got to use the trees, and it's like, oh, good, I have to use the trees. So excited.
I hate climbing trees in Assassin's Creed. I really hate it.
I hate that it's limited to like specific runs that are basically curated by the game itself. You can't free form as much. And I'm like, all right.
I actually enjoyed the trees doing that too, because sometimes when you just don't want to. Well, if you don't want to worry about fighting the damn gators, you just climb up in the trees and run.
Yeah,
until you miss a jump, then you got to restart the whole thing.
Yeah,
because there's no.
You have to get
climb back up
to where Agate is. You have to climb trees, and that I didn't like.
That too.
It's hard to get to his island.
Well, yeah, it should be hard to get to an assassin's headquarters.
No, I agree. I just didn't like it from a gameplay perspective. It made sense from a story perspective.
Yeah,
but it wasn't fun.
But also, I do like that at certain times you notice the glitching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did a good job in that it's supposed to be that the game is being hacked and that someone is trying to show you what's really going on and what the real story of this was, and the Templars are not what you think they are.
Yeah,
I like that.
That was beautifully done.
Get used to that. I don't think. Is that the future story we get from now on, Alan? Do you remember? Like, is it just stuff like that?
Basically, yeah. You're just kind of like, for at least until I think Origins. Yeah, okay. You're basically just a faceless, nameless wage dude for Abstergo. Yeah, who gets, I think, kind of tangentially, sort of. I won't get into it, but yeah.
Okay.
You'll find
I
out.
know a little bit of 4, but I haven't, and I've just, but like, yeah, I do, it bummed me out that there's just not a Desmond. I miss having that. It's only been one game, I already miss it. So.
Well, I enjoyed this.
There's some recurring characters, but again, you'll see.
I mean, I'm already looking at our maps for the next game, which probably when we're done recording, I'll start installing.
Good game.
I'm excited to replay more of 4.
4 is probably considered the best of the series, so
4 and 2, basically. Well, and 3. Or
It's a big ass map, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 is huge game. Just to warn you, that is a huge game.
I mean, before, Odyssey and Origins
Okay,
and
yes.
Valhalla then break that record. But yeah.
Yeah, before we get all those, it was the biggest game at the time, and then those just get bigger.
It just bloats.
But that's kind of why it was nice to have like this too. That's why I wanted this on the show, because I wanted to have something kind of smaller to play before we jump into that monster, and it was next in the timeline of publication.
Fits very well, to be honest. But I
Yeah.
said, it shows while Aveline is searching for her mother, trying to figure out what happened to her mother. Can't blame her for that.
No, it's a very fair, because she always remembered how she saw her mother, and then she, just lost her, and she disappeared, never found her again.
Yeah. Now, I like that. That's a good thing to aim for. And I have to admit that trying to find her story, there is once you get the diary from from Eveline's father, you start getting told there are pages everywhere. And I am very thankful that those pages do not fly in the wind.
Yeah, I appreciate that too.
Yeah, enjoy it for this game. Because it comes back.
Oh, that comes back, huh?
Yeah. But hey,
Okay.
for a better, more tangible purpose,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Can't remember what it is, but it'll be good when we'll get there eventually.
I mean, I can spoil it.
No, I mean, I didn't collect many of the diary pages. I mean, I think it's nice that it adds, more context to what's going on, but I just wasn't interested in them. I'd get them here and there if I saw them, but I wasn't that concerned.
Well, that's
Higher
the
chances,
thing.
though.
Like all these other things that these add-on missions and collectibles, getting the diary pages actually gives you the mindset of Aveline's mother, Jean. I mean, you get a whole lot of lore of where she stands. She's neither assassin nor Templar, but she comes to fear, not to fear the assassins right away, but something doesn't seem right about. But when she finds about the other group, the Templars, and she's like, something's not right with them either.
I mean,
Which
she also was sleeping with one of the assassins, so.
Yeah, which freaks, that seeing Aveline with the assassin symbol freaked her out a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I like it. Well, I mean, it's a fair reaction to see your daughter you haven't seen in years, also with blades on her hands too. So hey, it's fair.
A little shocking. Yeah.
No question there.
And the fact that she was forbidden from going towards, to helping, going to Mexico when she found out that their foe has gone to Mexico. So she had to literally break, disobey her master in the assassin sense, and revealed what you have here is slavery under the guise of you'll get freedom. We aren't going to force you we won't, attack you or anything like that. We won't, quote, whip you or anything. You're free to live. Just not necessarily free to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
What a catch.
it makes sense why, like the part when at one point when you're rescuing a bunch of people, they're in like cell, and you're like, we saved you, and they're like, save us, we're going to work. And it makes sense the way that they react to you, because they believe that, I mean, again, it is so bad for them in New Orleans that getting out of there, anything is better. They're like, fuck this colony. But also, I'm assuming that there probably wasn't a lot of stuff, like, I'm assuming at this time a lot of Louisiana was just swamp anyway, so you just had New Orleans, and maybe you had rivers and boats and stuff,
Yeah.
but you really, you weren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Louisiana. It's easy to traverse. We're not talking like the Big Easy as it is now today.
Yes. It's still swampy, I bet, in a lot of areas. So,
but
swamps are
it's
not
also
easy to get around.
Yeah, but it's built up more, too.
Oh, yes.
And God forbid something like Katrina comes around,
Mm-hmm.
Still remember that one, too.
I did like that. I like how you go to Chichen Itza and that you're in Mexico for a little bit. I thought all that stuff was really good, where you run into your mother again, and then you run into her like in two or three times, and she finally talks to you and is like friendly with you at the end.
Yeah, because I think she could sense that Aveline is not going to do. Aveline's after the same I am the Templars seem to be after. But at the same time, she's not about to utilize it for evil, because she doesn't understand why the assassins were looking for this item. And then when the Templars start looking for it, and then she finds out, certain things, but, keeps secret that she knows these things, she's beginning to see that the Templars are not the nice people. I mean, the Assassins
Only when
may not...
Citizen E lets her see it, because they don't want you to see it.
Yes.
They really do try to. I like how there's multiple scenes where a scene plays out, and then the game gets hacked, and then the scene plays out differently. I do like how they did that a couple times.
Which is kind of revealing of what you are dealing with. I mean, once you find her mother and get through all that, and get the first piece of the item.
The disc.
Yes, the disc. Which I am that was a trick and a half. I got no qualms with using a canoe, but it gets tricky when you're using canoe on rapids and you can't, you only have a certain amount of times you can hit the wall. I think the first 2 or 3 times, I hardly got into the cave before I was sinking.
Same. I had no idea what was happening. I'm like, okay, now I got to actually control this. And
I don't know how the Vita controlled it, but I swear if they put those to the touchpad, I can see why. Ooh. I would have thrown my Vita against the wall. I'd be like, Vita is dead now, for real.
Or if it had motion functions.
I hate motion functions in games so much.
Yeah, that would have been very, very difficult to pull off, to do with that.
Thank God there's no Assassin's Creed on Wii that I have to play. So
just DS.
Yeah, yes. There are 2 for DS I have to play someday. So DS can be okay. As long as it doesn't ask me to blow, I'm okay.
Oh, God.
I don't want to blow in my DS anymore ever again, and I'm sure I will, because I will play more DS games.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If we ever get to do the Professor Layton games, the final puzzle in the second game does involve blowing on the microphone, but it's only once.
The Zelda games, too.
Yeah, we done those.
We did the Zelda games. I'm talking about, we're talking, that was a lot. For the Layton game, it's like once. Just once.
Okay.
Once is fine. I have no problem doing it once. I have a problem doing it all the time on a fucking train. Then I got a problem with it.
Right. Did WarioWare have Mickey Blow? Probably did, right?
Probably, yeah. But that's fine. That's what
3 seconds, literally.
They are. That's a game that's made to show off what it can do, so that doesn't bother me, but Zelda bothered me a lot.
But the fact
I feel that the story for Liberation it keeps you going. I was very interested in what she was up to as you killed different people, the different Templars, and then as the Spanish take over, and I like how people are like, oh, things are going to be better, and then people keep disappearing because they're being sent off to labor camps, essentially, essentially being sent to Mexico.
Yeah.
To work to excavate, and I like how the whip becomes a weapon that you get at one point. I thought that was kind of fitting for the time. And
the blow dart.
Yeah, blow dart was good.
Oh yeah, I love that weapon.
Once used the gun by accident when I meant to do the blow dart.
Yeah.
And then yep.
That was good. And I only used the gun like once or twice in this game. I barely ever used it because I didn't like it. Because I hate guns at this time. They're just too slow for me.
Right.
I mean, I know that's how they work, but I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I would use the gun from time to time, but I like that blow dart because you could just do it from a distance. Like, okay, there's a guy walking there. I can hit him. Guy like, there's somebody over there. I don't feel good. Damn bug.
None of the stealth felt too irritating in this game either. When the game makes you be stealthy, none of it pissed me off to a point where I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Because that's happened before.
The synchronization requests weren't even that bad either, thank God.
No, I got most of them, although there's some I failed at. I don't care.
I did the classic, I'm going to care for the first 3 hours and then not anymore.
Yeah, I didn't even try for it. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Don't go in the water. Well, I'm going in the water anyway. So little things like that, I'm like, I don't give a shit. But
at least
doesn't make sense anyway. I still hate it. I'll always hate it.
Yeah.
At least it's a little bit more obvious, though, when you say, don't go in the water. Okay, that makes sense. I'm in the whole water area, but there's paths on the trees to avoid it. I can do that. Then of course, back in Bloodlines.
No,
yeah.
Brotherhood. When it says don't go in the water and you're running and you jump in the water.
Yeah, don't go in the water. Oh, wait, I got to get to the island before the guy does something stupid. And then completely forget, oh, I wasn't supposed to go in the water. I mean...
Yeah, no, I mean, it was much better because you're in a bayou and you're on a raft. Like, it makes sense, but...
Yeah.
I mean, none of it was too bad.
Yeah.
I just don't care about the synchronization crap, so... I did have an issue with a boss fight, and I'm wondering if you guys had the same issue. When you're in Mexico, when you get one of the Animus pieces, and Pierre, whatever the hell his name is, the asshole comes in, the pirate with the black hat and black coat, and he has a couple people with him. I had a really hard time killing him. Like, everything I did got countered, and I kept dying constantly. Did anyone else have that issue?
Not really.
No.
Okay. It was when I saw a lot of the jank in the game too, where it was just not cooperating with me. I finally just got it to work. I don't even know what the hell I even did. He just died and it worked. I'm like, okay, good, I'm done. But it was really, I died like 6 or 7 times.
See, I can't
think. Yeah.
I mean, I was purchasing weapons too once I could,
Same.
And I was also working with getting all those places open. I mean, you could go into the weapon shops. You'd pay a higher price than if they're yours. So, I'm like, okay, I can do that. The side stuff wasn't necessarily too hard. I mean, finding voodoo dolls, that's a nice little collectible. Fits with the area.
I didn't do any of that. I saw it on the map. I'm like, that's nice.
Getting the diary pages, of course, that adds to the story. The smuggler's coins, that was a fun one to get. I mean, you can't kill the guy. You just knock him out and take the coin. Of course, the trick is sometimes doing all that and not getting attacked so you can get the coin. There was a few times I did that. I had that problem, especially in New Orleans. I love the intrigue they put in there with Aveline doing detective-type missions, looking into some stuff, as well as the plot to, quote, kidnap her and hold her for ransom. I'm like, you picked the wrong lady.
Gotta do some opposition research before you do stuff like that, man.
Yeah, I did like the discovery stuff. I thought the investigation stuff was cool. I did like that.
And I do like trying to find all the men you had to charm in the lady form.
All that I didn't mess with.
That was actually it was first time I saw the first one I saw, I'm like, he's up there. Did he load wrong or something?
That's fair.
And then as like, okay, so he's not the only one that's in an out of reach area, so how am I supposed to do it? And that's when I discovered, the lady can climb ladders. It don't look odd. I mean, sure, if somebody spots her up on the damn rooftops walking around, I was like, what is that lady in that lovely dress doing walking on the rooftop? Isn't that suspicious?
To be fair, I bet it would be really hard to climb rooftops in that dress.
Yeah. I mean,
the way that the outfits were then, I bet things would have been difficult as hell to move around in. Yeah.
But of course, it does say something. This is what makes you think. While the lady also has that fun little umbrella gun.
Never used it.
Cool.
Oh, I used it a few times. Have to kill that rival. Oh, look at that. He's over there. I'm just standing here looking at him.
Yeah, that's like
I used it a couple times, but only when the game made me, I think.
It's like doing that, and then you're like, okay, there you are, you nasty little... Makes you understand why the penguin likes his umbrella weapons.
Yeah. Fair enough. Did any of you guys do like the trading side quest thing where you like buy goods and ship them?
No, I didn't do it in 3. I sure as heck wasn't going to do it here.
It was a little bit better in this one than it was in 3. I tried did do it
once. I sold some stuff and then it hit a hurricane. They're like, "Oh, it's going to take an additional 30 minutes," and I'm like, "I don't give a shit," and that was the end of it.
Well, that's the thing.
Why the timers? Why the real life timers?
But that's also the thing. The timer, it didn't ruin it. Just made it take longer.
I mean, I don't know. It's such an airport like thing to be like, I'm waiting for my flight. I'm going to set this timer and then, keep my Vita in my pocket. That's like the thought, right? It's like,
I mean, it allowed me to get some of those smuggler watches. Of course, I didn't get them all, nor did I get all the weapons. But,
I didn't do that either.
Well, then again, it's like, this is the way you really get your money in the game.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. The reasons to spend money in this game, I didn't really find any, great reason.
Same. I bought a couple shops when I noticed it, but, it was really just the dressing chambers that I unlocked. It wasn't really shops.
Dressing chambers and, I think 2 outfits for each, style. And I was like, all right, cool. Awesome.
I got all the dressing chambers opened because the more you have, the easier it is to find one and get into it when you need a quick change. Like, here's a mission involving the slave over here, but I know there's a mission for the slave form over here. I'm as a lady. Oh, look, here's a dressing chamber. Switch, slave, get the mission going, done. That kind of thing. But once I took out the rivals, I quickly got their shops because, hey, that's more things open and more areas you can actually set up some sailing or set up the trades routes, because you can only do that either at the headquarters or at any shop you owned.
Okay. I don't know. The trading thing just didn't. And when I hit the hurricane, I lost interest completely. And then when I didn't feel like I needed the money, plus I did open a lot of the chests that I would see, which gave me enough money to do anything I wanted to do in this game.
Yep. I was like, I don't know why it feels like the economy just was not thought of really that much in this
game. I got all the chests. It does not give you enough to get everything.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It gives you enough to get through the game, as long as you can buy upgraded weapons. Mike, did you buy upgraded weapons?
I did. Get better weapons. That wasn't like that. The combat it wasn't that the combat felt hard. It just felt janky. Like I was having issues where things just didn't feel right constantly in this game with the controls.
Man, you really did get the worst version somehow.
I did.
I mean,
there were a
very
lot
press
of
V to win though. Like just counter.
It was. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, every time when I pressed counter, she wouldn't even counter. Like it was just. I don't know. There were a lot. I had a lot of glitchy things with this game that I'm glad that was just my experience and not your guys's. Like I'm glad everything worked better for both of you.
Did you have any issues with the grappling, like not working or anything?
Yeah.
Oof.
I had issues with that where I was trying to jump.
That's like the whole game then.
Yeah, there were a lot of. I had a lot of problems. It was just weird. I don't know. I don't think it was the game. I think I was just having some bad luck with whatever. I was just having maybe my computer was having issues running it. I would have rather ran this on a Steam Deck, but Ubisoft games do not work well on a Steam Deck.
Yeah, I think anything with a launcher, right?
Yeah, you can make it work, but it takes more messing around than I want to do. Like I tried to do it for Phoenix Rising when I did that for this show, and I went in there and I played with settings and I made a folder and did everything that they told me to do. Then it just wouldn't, and then after that, nothing Ubisoft will run at all. So I did something I probably shouldn't have done.
I think this is about the first time that I could say that the meme does not apply to Mike.
So no, it doesn't.
Because he was playing the game properly. He's just playing the first iteration of its release outside of the Vita.
Well, I mean, and I played that before. It's just I've also all these Assassin's Creed games that we've done so far. I've never had it where I had to go in multiple times and switch it back to 360 controller. It would change the settings on me. That's never happened before like that. I mean, usually, okay, the first time you set it up, you go. But even on Steam, it says this game does not recognize the controller. I'm like,
that's weird.
Game came out for console. Like, how do you not? Yeah, there were just a lot of weird issues on it with Steam. Maybe the reason why I didn't play the remastered version on Assassin's Creed 3 because I didn't want to go through the trouble of installing Assassin's Creed 3 again because that's such a huge game when I just wanted Liberation. So I just didn't bother. Plus, I really hate the Ubisoft everything. So I didn't want to mess with it. I was like, I'll just go through Steam. Plus, I want Steam achievements for no reason other than I like that it goes there. I just don't like Ubisoft Launcher. I mean, I'm forced to use it, yes, but I'd rather just be forced to put in my password and my login information than actually have to deal with it.
But then you get working game behind the Uplay launcher.
Yeah, no, I know. I was surprised. And I mean, at the point when I realized this, I was too far in. I wasn't starting over.
Yeah.
And I also thought it was the game until we started talking. So I thought that was just the game itself. I thought the game was just janky. Like when I asked for the questions, comments, and memories, I posted how janky this game felt. People were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Stuff like that. So, okay, I'm glad it was just a me experience, not everybody's.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to affect your final ranking.
I don't really count it in because it's based on just the game itself.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, glitches happen. I don't, especially in a case where I'm playing a different version of the game, like than what I could have been playing. That's not their fault.
Now, let me ask this: when we got to the points where we're collecting the discs parts, which we do at one point, get one part, and Agate does not want anything to do with it, which raises more questions. But when we get to that point, were you upset that it was more of a mental puzzle to get those pieces?
I liked it. I like the little puzzles you do for the pieces, like with the marble. I thought all those were good.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat little change of pace.
Yeah.
I think maybe they did that because, first of all, you were running through caverns and you have these trials that make it's very aerobic. And even though if you don't have to fight anyone, I don't think you have to fight anyone.
No, you just do a lot of running because the Templars aren't there with you until after you get to the last piece and then they show up. They blow a hole in the wall and show up.
The Kool-Aid Man inside.
Yes, pretty much. I like in that. I also like when she finally gets the message that it's not Juno or anything that it's something completely new. It's the humans that broke free from the whatever the fuck those aliens are called and are starting the uprising.
You sort of get that feeling though with the truth in Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, but we haven't had it since.
Yeah,
we've had 3 games since then, and yet it was all about Juno and them because that's where Desmond's story was going.
It's so funny because, like, with the truth, like, I just remember seeing it and just being, like, more obsessed with, like, the fact that it was future tech and all that, rather than, like, I wasn't even focusing, like, why are they running? like, didn't even cross my mind. Why would they be? And the thing that they chose to go with was crazy. Like, had no idea it would go there.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things about the Assassin's Creed series is that story. I enjoyed that so much. That's why I was kind of like, I remember being let down when Desmond goes away because that's what I enjoyed so much. I wanted more of that story. I wanted more, like when we replayed 3 not that long ago. Like I loved that stuff where you got to be in the present day.
Yeah,
so.
And we go through all this. I mean, once we get 2 disc parts, and we start, but we're also trying to stop the company man.
What a name!
I was thinking the same thing.
It was brilliant. Let's face it, it was brilliant when the final reveal hits you.
Yes. And I enjoy the mission when you go to New York for one sequence and you meet up with Connor. That was fun too.
Oh yes, that was it. That's actually the sequence where we finally figure out who the company man is.
She figures out, we don't figure it out. Because she doesn't tell you until after you get back, then the game shows you.
Are you kidding? When it hit me who it is once I got there too.
Oh wait, doesn't he just say it's been under your eyes the whole time or something like that?
Pretty much.
In our own backyard all along.
It didn't click until I got to the house and then it showed.
It was the dog we had in the backyard the whole time.
Okay, maybe I do have. Maybe that does now apply.
No, I didn't think it was her. I don't know what I was thinking when they said it, but I just like. I thought it was her father. I thought maybe her father was
going to be
man
him or the
time.
love interest, right? Classic.
Yeah, I just didn't think it would be the stepmom, but
I never suspected the father, especially because I also got all those sis and E's.
I got a couple when the game has you do it, but I don't think I got any just randomly. And I'm assuming there were some randomly.
Yeah, because there are 5 scenes, plus of course the ending, where you get a hacked that glitching. Like when you're hunting down who you think is the company man before you get the second part, I think.
Yeah, because you think it's one of the Spaniards that you kill. And then when you find out, when your father dies, you kill one, you think it's the company man, and you get upset when you find out it's not.
Yeah, then the father dies, and of course the mother gets the house, the stepmother gets the house, because of course that was a recognized marriage. The business, of course, goes to the young man, and even the mother says, I know it's probably you running it. So she's not about to, make it look that bad. But of course, Aveline can't live in the house anymore.
Well, she says Aveline can stay at the house still.
Oh, I
makes a comment until Aveline, turns out to be when she confronts her. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't. Drama. I did like that when she's like, "You're the Templar this whole time."
Good delivery.
I did like that. I thought that was all really well done.
Yeah, it's a great reveal, and when it hits you, it's like, I didn't think, and of course, this could be of how much I've read and I've seen plot twists and all that. I didn't suspect it, but it didn't smack. Once she says, once he said who the
he gave the hint away.
Yeah, it's like, damn it. So that's who it is. That's who the company man is. And I'm like, that's actually brilliant.
It is.
Company man. Oh, company woman.
I also like it that, this game is very female orientated, or as some people might say, unfortunately, this game is woke, right? Would that be the term now we would use if we were idiots?
Something along that line, yeah.
But that's funny. I just didn't really think about that, but now I'm like, yeah, if this game would have came out like nowadays, that would have been the comments some people would have made online.
Yeah, so, probably.
I like it.
I bet any person who does a retrospective, you'll see comments on it, I'm sure.
Oh God, yes.
I'll probably have to make the comment when I finally get to this one.
I didn't think about it, but like, you're a female lead and the main villain is female. Like, that's cool.
I think there was backlash in the opposite direction. They're like, "Oh, why is the female lead relegated to the mobile or to the mobile?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember
fair.
that being a thing back then.
That's fair too.
There was still backlash for Syndicate. Why has it got to be like at the same time, right? That whole thing.
I don't know much about Syndicate. I know that you play as a brother and sister, but that's all I know. And it's in London. That's all I know about Syndicate.
I'll say this: I liked it.
I've heard good things about it.
You're making me want to get to it quicker.
Oh, you get Unity first. It's fine.
We'll get there. 4 will go by. Then we got Rogue. Then Unity. Then Syndicate. Then Origins.
Oh damn! Will it?
Once you get into that, we'll see. We'll start meeting again in like years.
You know what? Damn. Actually, I just looked up and they do have Assassin's Creed Syndicate DLC.
Yes, Jack the Ripper.
Pretty cool. Yep.
We are going to have to start doing, at some point, we're going to do the Tyranny of Washington. I might plan that sooner than later because 4 has DLC, and then we start getting the DLC for all of them, so I might have to start planning more episodes.
God. I'm just looking at another game that had you go up against Jack the Ripper.
And also
Damn, the style. Yeah. But the stylizing of it on the Sherlock Holmes cover and for the Assassin's Creed DLC almost looks damn alike. They just make the R and Ripper more knife-like.
I'm excited for Syndicate when we get there. And Unity. I'm very excited to finally play new games.
I think.
But, I mean, this game, the fact that I didn't remember the twist, I think kind of made it better. Because I've beaten this game once before. I know I have, but I had no memory of it. Like, I knew Connor was in this game, and that was all I remember, was he was in a mission.
Right? He's just like, and it was just a mission. Boop,
well, he does say a good thing to her because she's questioning the assassins, and he's like, I trust my hands. So
yeah, it was a good line.
He's like, I trust when I put the blade through whose neck. Like, I trust that with the tomahawk. So I'm like,
so she does ask, it's like, you feel like you're doing the right thing? And he's like, I'm always he always gives off the impression he is always asking himself that if he's doing the right thing, which is kind of, for me, that's saying, I think I am doing the right thing because I question it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you should question yourself in general. Like, you should, I mean, if you're doing something like this where you're murdering people, you really should be questioning all the time.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, honestly, I do ask myself as a father, am I doing the right things with my daughter? And I get told every day, I get told by people that she's a wonderful student, she's a wonderful person. So even though I question what I'm doing, I'm apparently doing the right thing.
Fatherhood, though, I think, in a nutshell, unfortunately. Well, good fatherhood in a nutshell is you questioning if you're doing the right thing for your child.
Good thing. I think a good thing everywhere is, am I doing the right thing for everybody?
Yeah.
Or I'm concerned. So,
dude, I try to live my life like that for the most part. I mean, in a simple way, like this podcast, whenever it comes to recordings, like when I have to change things, I'm always like, okay, am I doing the right thing to make sure that I'm trying to include whoever wants to be on? Like, I always think that.
Yeah.
Good. See, you're a good person, Richard. That's what Connor taught us.
That's what they all teach us.
It's also very Metal Gear, like the end of Metal Gear 2.
Oh man, the ending of this one was amazing, though.
This was a good ending, where you see her becoming a Templar, and then it gets hacked, and it turns out that no, she didn't become a Templar. She just tricked them so that way they would all be in one place.
That's how you know. Like, that's how you make the video game aspect of it so great.
I mean, when I saw those credits start to run, I'm like, what? Is this the end of the game? And then I'm like, wait a minute.
You see what is essentially propaganda, and then when the hackers hack it,
I knew something was up when I saw the one name in the credits, Vedic.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Yeah. I forgot about the fake credits. I saw the credits. I'm like, wait a second, but I didn't look at the names closely. And then I just pressed a button, and the game kept going. So
see, that's the brilliance of that. Then you have another Mr. Citizen-y thing, and then you fight everybody.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
It was a good scene, and you finally kill your stepmom, who was the company man. Like, that was all really well done.
And the realization of the disc.
Yep.
Aveline had the final part, and it just hit her then. Her necklace. That was brilliant.
That was.
And I have a feeling that it's very possible Ugarte had that part to begin with, but gave it to Aveline's mother.
That's fair.
Interesting. It's just a theory.
Because the Assassins have been going on for a while, so there's a good chance that they would have, they recognized that these were artifacts that they would have collected. So that's a fair.
Then gave it to a woman who he thought would be loyal to him, but then she betrayed him because she was not comfortable with the whole assassin lifestyle.
Which is completely fair. You're murdering people.
Yeah, but of course the assassins work to protect people to keep them let them still have free will.
Yes.
It's just hard to
but-
see that goal in the process of murdering people.
Yeah.
I would just say like everything the assassins kind of did in the colonies was like their biggest bag fumble like ever, basically until 3.
Yeah, I feel like they weren't doing good when it came to like them having to change countries. They were not doing well.
Yeah, they just did not handle that transition
Yeah.
very well.
It's very tricky.
Hey, Templars did. I think Templars handled it pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
But to be fair, preaching control, and that does get certain people's attention, especially people in power, I would feel.
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
That's fitting.
I think that was probably like the main gist of like learning the truth, right? Going through the Assassin's Creed 2 stuff. Because like what famous people did we realize apparently are like Templars? It was like Henry Ford was
God.
one.
Yeah, it was,
You know, it was like nuts stuff, right?
yeah, I God, 2 is such a good game.
Good game.
Hey, anything else to say about Liberation before we go on to questions, memories, and comments?
Pretty much covered everything, I think. Talking
Yeah.
about the trading system. We talked about the trading system. We talked about some of these side stories that actually reveal more, make you utilize the different personas more. I mean, you could really run. Well, you could really run around as the assassin in the bayou. Chichen Itza is more you have to be in the slave persona, but at least you don't have the same, oh, you're running on a box. Seize her, seize her. She's a criminal. She's a criminal. She's a criminal. Oh, fuck that. We're in Chichen Itza. We make our own rules.
Yeah.
And the lady with the detective missions and all that and the discreet kills. I love the discreet kills. Love that. Umbrella. I'm just standing here with my umbrella.
I think that they did a lot of good with what they had.
Yes.
With such a small device that they were originally working with. So I'm happy with it.
And we do get a good feel of New Orleans back in the time. That does seem very accurate. Although I did have one moment that I do regret.
What's that?
As the lady, I fell into the water.
Oh.
I had to swim all the way over to where they lowered ships into the water, freshly constructed ships, to get the fuck out of the water.
That's
yeah,
fair.
they didn't think about that, did they?
No.
I mean, wait, I can't remember if this corset was the one where they like give you like the iron corset. You should have just sank, honestly.
I mean, honestly,
Yes.
They should literally just count it like Ezio or Altair and just count it as death.
yeah, that might have been a better thing to do. I mean, yes, she has to charm a captain on a ship at one point.
Yep.
But honestly, to take such a long-ass route just so you can get back on the land.
Do they even let you free swim like fast, or is it literally like a side stroke that at like a mile an hour?
I think it's not side stroke, it's regular swimming.
Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah, but it's still like, how the hell am I supposed to get out of the water now? I mean, they obviously didn't want you to, quote, die in that persona or it would desynchronized.
But you'd have at least loaded back. Probably.
Your problem would have been solved.
Yeah. That's the
You
only
probably would have liked
negative.
that more.
It's the best part about video games. Sometimes death is the answer.
Yes.
And the most expeditious way to succeed.
Although it can be a bitch when I just had this happen while I was recording Assassin's Creed 2. Try to get to the top of the tower. Okay, there's the top. Oh, there's the item I'm looking for so I could do the truth. And then I fall. I misgrab or I go to grab, get on there, and then I fall. I'm falling off, and
And ledge grab didn't quite, read the input right. Didn't catch the ledge I thought it would, and then, yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, so but like I said, that whole swimming part, that honestly, it's understandable if sometimes a lady falls in that she has to swim to, and it's very difficult in those. Let's face it. She's supposed to have limited mobility.
Right.
So climbing up without a ladder, yeah, it makes some sense because you can't always get a foothold.
I'm just surprised they didn't think about that as the developers and just put more ladders around. Would it have been realistic? Probably not. Would you not have gone through that headache? Yeah.
Actually, it would have been realistic to have a ladder by a port, by a pier. It's very realistic because even sailors goof up.
That's true. Those are some wet docks.
And sometimes when you have it too high, they can't grab onto the poles or grab onto the woodwork. So, yeah, a ladder would be needed. And the only downside is, of course, if you can't swim, you're fucked anyhow. So
Honestly, would have been a genius idea. Is if you're in the lady form, you just get like a small cutscene of like a bunch of dudes being like, "I'll save her, I'll save her." They just all jump in and rescue you or something.
yeah, actually, that would have been perfect, especially if her father is as well known as that.
Yeah,
They're like, "Oh, the father will pay us handsomely to rescue her."
yeah. You just you get rescued by a dude. Like then you just like I don't know. You give him a curtsy. I don't know. Whatever it is, and then done. Back to what you're doing.
And that's also another thing, though, that we didn't even mention. When you're walking around as the lady, muggers are going to try and attack you.
Oh yeah, I never had it happen to me though.
I almost had it happen. I just made sure I was. If I saw muggers, I'm like, okay, I will go the other way, but I will run away from you fast.
Yep, it was just a nope. I'll go the other way situation.
Or I'll just run by and keep running. So. I mean, like I said, the swimming, that situation was the only negative I've had.
Not bad. I mean, it's definitely a way better experience than Mike had.
Yes, I regret that I didn't just play the better version, the remastered. I didn't realize that I wasn't until very recently. So it's fine.
I could have told you every time I saw it load up.
Oh yeah, mine just said HD on it. So yes, that is fair. All right, let's go on to questions, comments, or memories. And I do have a few. First, from the I Watched the Entire Overlord Super Replay group from Tom Drake. It's a fun little game. I just wish the first AC starring a female lead wasn't a spin-off afterthought.
See, yeah, that's what I was talking about. That backlash was always there.
From Cat D. Monette. I remember playing this on my Vita. Fun game for a handheld spin-off. From Daniel Jones. I'm not a huge AC fan, but I played through this on my Vita and I loved it. It was a real streamlined AC experience, but it still felt like I was getting a taste of the future with a sort of AAA game on a handheld. Right.
Rest in peace, Vita. Long live the Steam Deck.
Yes. And from the Assassin's Creed group, from Michael O'Grady, several things to know about Liberation history-wise, real life, and AC. This is a bunch, but some good stuff, so I'm going to read it. Aveline is an assassin contemporary of Rocket Takaton Connor. I see what you... Okay. Her sphere of operations in the southern colony of Louisiana and down into Mexico. Connor's efforts are more centered around the cities of Boston and New York and the East Coast northern colonies of colonial North America. The map unfogging system of Liberation is much the same as AC3. That is kind of a downer and can be rather frustrating. Liberation is essentially the first of Abstergo's Templar promoting animist selections. However, the hacker collective known as Urugito, first encounter in Brotherhood, have infiltrated your copy and are determined to expose the unedited memories with Citizen E assassination missions. Find them all to get the game's true ending. Aveline's direct ancestor was Subject 1 of Warren Vidick's Animist project. He died in the machine as a result of an undiagnosed cerebral malady and almost shut down the project in his infancy. Vidick proved his safety as Subject 2. His own recordings were classified secret by Abstergo executive order. Black Flag's modern-day player computer hacks has Vidick's interview with Subject 1 about his personal impressions of Aveline, as well as Abstergo market analysis on previously sequenced assassins Altair, Ezio, and Connor, along with their rejection for Abstergo purposes, complete Black Flag to reach the final computer and get the accepted market analyst for Aveline D. Grampier. And War Letter collectibles and Rogue reveal more about background events and Liberation.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, that answers the Rogue question.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have another comment from Skylar Neville. Fair warning about this game. There's a glitch where if you use the dressing chambers near your base, it makes the screen go dark. The only way to see it is to use Eagle Vision. Thankfully, that never happened to me.
Good to know.
Not to me either.
And from the Assassin's Creed lovers group, I got a few. From Hashim Aldawe, I played the HD version on PC. I think most people don't like it because they only played the Vita version, which is absolute jank, I'm assuming. It's my first AC game, and honestly, aside from all the nostalgia, although you can say that it's short and nothing that much new, it's quite fun and enjoyable experience, which is quite recommended.
Interesting. His version was apparently not jank. That really does make me think they like sabotage that version to be like, play this one.
Or maybe it just didn't install right, or my PC just was having issues. Like, it was just, I have played enough of them on this PC that I know how it should feel. So,
PC skill issue.
All right. And then from Masato Tanaka, I like to team up with Connor. I did too. That's a nice mission.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it was.
From Sam Marino, don't bother. It's hands down the worst AC in the franchise. Start Black Flag. It's the only AC I truly hated and didn't finish.
Wait, what? Oh,
He did not like this game.
Okay,
He's telling me to play Black Flag and don't play this.
gotcha. Okay,
Even
too
though
late, but cool.
I mean, it's fine.
If you are listening to this show, while I respect that as your opinion, don't discourage people from playing it.
No, I also don't think he's listening to the show. So
Just play the game. Just play games. It's fun.
from Jason Bennett, I loved it. In A33, the fact that they end up together in the comic books is awesome. Oh, I am curious about the comic books, but I don't know if I'll ever read them.
Wait, Aveline and Connor end up together?
That's what he said in the comic books.
Hmm.
I got nothing, but okay.
As a fan fiction, or is that official?
There's official comic books.
Okay, but
There is an
are they
official run.
canon, or just official, but we do what we want kind of stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's canon, but it's like canon that we're never gonna bother with. So you can do what you want.
About, yeah.
But I know there are a bunch of Assassin's Creed comics, and I have been curious about. But they're published.
Too.
They're published by Titan Comics. Oh no, they ran from 2015 to 2016. So they ran for about a year, and there's 3 volumes.
Is one of them the Russian guy
I don't know.
that they put in the 2D side-scrolling ones? I think.
I think you're right, but I don't know much about it. I just know the names of them are Trial by Fire, Setting Sun, and Homecoming, but that doesn't help me any.
Yeah, not really. No.
So yeah, I don't know. I've always been curious to read them. I've never gotten around to them.
Can't quite emulate comic books.
Oh, I mean, I read comic books just fine on my computer. So
Good point.
I can I can find these just fine if I have seen them. I just haven't cared enough to read them yet. Because if I'm going to read them, it's going to be for a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not bothered to track down someone that wants to do that or ask people. There's that. But I keep forgetting they exist till somebody points me to them again. So, but yeah, no, I'm sure I can find them online within. Yeah, I can.
Within minutes, basically.
Yeah, I found them. So they're out there.
Yeah,
I guess there's a few different runs of Assassin's Creed comics, but they were not published by any of the companies that I really recognize as much. Titan is not a publisher I know as well. And you are right. The Assassin's Creed conspiracy, I'm pretty sure one of those has to do. No, World War II got my attention. Okay, there's a whole bunch of these, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay.
There's multiple runs and lots of different little Assassin's Creed comics. So, yeah.
You just got to find the one that says Omnibus, and you're good.
Someday. Maybe someday I'll read them. All right. From Billy Sedgwick, Assassin's Creed Liberation. I don't think the engine is better than AC3, but obviously we all got our own opinions. I'm not writing it to argue about it. I played Assassin's Creed since AC2 way back in 2009 and loved the Ezio trilogy plus love Black Flag. Love Unity because it's not as buggy as people think, but not a massive fan of Liberation, but that's just me. There will be Assassin's Creed games I wrote down what a lot of people won't like, but we all got our favorites. I got an Assassin's Creed tattoo, and he posted a picture of that, which is damn cool.
I'd say he's a fan.
Yes, from Mohammed Doik. I didn't like or hate it. It had a better engine than AC3, and the story is good. And I can't pronounce this because it's a different language. I love playing the remastered version on my Nintendo Switch OLED. Aside from a big screen handheld experience, it's more sharp and smoother gaming experience than the Vita version. Don't hate me. I played and platinum it on my Vita. I wouldn't hate anyone who plays any game and enjoys it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny how the Switch version gets a lot of good ports of Vita versions.
I'm glad to see that, though. And from the last
Revelations 2, like, I think I've seen it on Vita. It looked so bad.
Switch is a good system. I might not be the biggest fan of it, but Switch is a really good system. So I'll never say otherwise. Even I don't use it much.
Games. That makes it the best in my book.
I do love Zelda games, but I just don't like Switch as much.
The Switch with a Pro controller is pretty much fine, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a Switch Lite, so there is that.
That'll probably be it. Yeah,
because it wasn't for me; it was for my wife. Because when COVID happened, she was very bored and she wanted to get a Switch. I remember we had a hard as hell time trying to find one, and we got her a Switch Lite. That's all they had, and she played like hours and hours of Animal Crossing during COVID. So yeah, and then from the last group, Assassin's Creed Unlimited, from Mike Wang, great game. I'm glad you enjoyed it. From Gillen Wilmantra, it's cool. Had the best and most realistic ship trading systems if you learn to trade, as it is your main source of income, which I did not mess with because I didn't need to. From Andy Roche, I got it free when I bought AC3 on Xbox One, already preloaded on the game. You just selected if you want to play AC3 or Liberation HD. Yeah, Liberation Remastered, thank God. But yes, it's not HD. From Christian Hyde, I really liked it. And from last one, from Jeffrey Neal, I bought the Americas collection. I think it's called for PS3. Got it that way. Nice games, a little stiff in terms of movement controls compared to 3 and 4. That's what I was talking about. That's that same collection that I bought too.
Oh, okay.
Remember that store called GameStop that used to exist a long time ago?
Yeah, and their publication Game Informer that used to exist. I hate saying that.
that's just so sad. Usually I don't give a shit when a company goes under. It doesn't bother me when something gets shut down because it's just, but that one hurt. That one really hurt. So, and just the way GameStop did it, like, it wasn't like it wasn't making money. It was just a situation of our shareholders are upset. How can we make them happy and show we're making change? Just shut down a website. All right, good idea. And fire all the people. All right. Yep.
And I think
I highly doubt the amount of people that worked there, because we saw the list of the people that were affected. It wasn't that many. Like, I'm sure the magazine and website made enough money in advertisements to cover what it cost to run it.
I mean, its reputation alone should have saved it. I can't, like, just on its merits. I cannot believe it.
And then the final farewell, they don't even let the writers write it. They just publish it by AI.
Yeah. And now we got to figure out where that vault's going.
I told you where that vault's going.
Online?
Well, yeah, it's either going on. So for those that don't know, Game Informer had a huge vault for years of every single game that was ever released. And in 2020 and COVID.
Sorry, it makes sense because they review games. So yeah.
Yes.
Review copies.
But it's still impressive that they had that. And then in 2020, it got put into a storage unit because they lost their physical space. Again, cheaper to run. Why are you shutting this down? And now people are like, what's going to happen to it? My real prediction is that it's going to end up on a storage. Someone's going to buy the storage container and find it in 10 years. Because my guess is that the people in charge of GameStop, whoever knows about it, probably all got fired too. And I can guarantee you, as a guy who once got fired and the company said, hey, how do you get into the system? I said, that's nice. And that was my reply. So chances are that it's going to be lost until a random storage guy is going to buy it and get really, really excited. That's my prediction. Or it's going to go online, but I don't think GameStop is smart enough to put that online and sell that collection.
Now, how long did it take them to find the damn landfill with all the Atari cartridges in it?
30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my prediction. But no, I did want to bring it up since this is the weekly episode that we do. I did want to bring up the Game Informer thing because it's such a... It's how this podcast started. I mean, it started from I Watch and Terror Replay group, which is made of fans of Game Informer, which is how I met my original co-host that started the show with me, and how I met Alan and so many other people. So it's such a big part of this podcast too. And it's also Replay is what inspired me to become a content creator when I first watched Replay all those years ago. And I was like, I want to do this, but then I just never did video. And now I just make a podcast, but it's essentially, that's where that came from for me. That sparked it. Took me years, but it sparked it.
It's fine. I mean, if you shoot for Replay and end at the GI podcast, that's still a good spot.
Yeah. Hey, I'm still going.
True.
So, I mean, Replay died a while ago anyway, unfortunately.
Also true.
No, it's so sad. And it's all just corporate greed. And I don't think it was a intelligent business decision made on how much profit they made from the company versus how much they spent. I think it really was just something to cut costs and make the shareholders look better, or the CEO is going to steal more money and then get arrested eventually for insider trading. So here's that too. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting 2 years. We'll see where things are.
Yeah, because I know the GameStop CEO is being investigated for insider trading. So that always ends well.
Sounds like karma to me.
I mean, just like, you're going to get caught. Like, why do it? Like, they catch those people all the time. I mean, I'm sure the people get away with it, but is it worth it? Like,
apparently, I don't know.
I mean, you're a CEO. I'm sure you make enough money anyway. Fucking people. All right, let's give away a code. Let's see. I have a Steam code to give away. Let's see. Let's go with Remnant from the Ashes. I never played this, but I've heard good things about this series in this game. So here's your free code for Remnant from the Ashes. It is 24BBLQ8ZFBRQM4P. That is your code for Steam Remnant from the Ashes. All right.
You got another one? I would love that game. I heard good things.
Well, looks like a mix of Western and science fiction.
Kind of, yeah. Little Lovecraftian. Dark Souls in a third-person shooter setting is pretty good, is what I've heard.
Dark Souls, you've
yeah, it's a Dark Souls.
There. Yeah, it's kind of.
I tried one Dark Souls-like game. I have found it's not for me.
A great series. It just takes, but it's completely fair. They take some getting used to. So.
Well, to the lucky viewer who gets that, you definitely enjoy it.
And sorry, I don't have another one of that, so I apologize.
It's all good. I'll buy it myself. I will.
I don't even remember where I got it from. I buy so many bundles that's where I get all my codes from. Fanatical and Humble Bundle are great. Mm. I love all those things. I love buying bundles and for cheap. That's where I get almost all my games now. It's just bundles. Stuff I'll never play, but hey, at least I have it in the collection. So, all right, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Richard, why don't you open this up?
I'm gonna definitely put it on the shelf. I enjoyed it like I've been enjoying all these games. I love all the stuff that they add in there makes you want to explore, makes you want to do what you can. Like I said, the only downside I had was just basically one really thing with with her lady form. I told you, falling in the water, you have to swim all the way around to get to a point where you can get on. I mean, let's face it, she could have climbed ladders. You could have put ladders there. There is a safety reason for ladders near piers. But other than that, like I said, it's a stack. It's a shelf game.
All right, I'll go next. I'm going to put this in the stack. I still had fun, but between the issues and just the game itself, it's a stack for me. And this is the first time I'm starting to be like, am I getting tired of Assassin's Creed, or is it just this game? I'm hoping to say just this game, but we'll see when I play 4. But still glad I played it, glad to replay it, and glad that it's on the show. So, going in the stack, though. I still had a good time. And Alan?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to put it in the stack. I would say, like, if you're really, especially, like, you know, why they bundled it with the America bundle, if you really just want to get, like, a good, meaty experience of, you know, the colonial aesthetic and Assassins, then it's a really great addition to that. It's a good complement piece to 3, and I think it's holds up well enough to be there. I still think it does compromise a lot with just like its scope and, you know, like pacing, but you know, it's mobile for you. But yeah, definitely worth playing. I liked it.
All right, I'm glad, and I'm glad that I got to introduce this game to you guys.
Thank you.
So it makes me happy whenever I can introduce a movie or a game to people that haven't experienced before. That always makes me feel good. It's one of those little things, especially if they enjoy it. And I hope with this podcast that people who listen to it play games that they would have never touched otherwise. Even though we do spoil things and we do talk about stuff in detail, like I'm hoping that this show has gotten people to play games they never would have touched otherwise. That's always my hope, and with what I do, I have that effect on people. And I think I do. I think a lot of people do experience things that because of this podcast. So, and fun fact, we were downloaded in Louisiana twice so far this month already. So there's a good chance somebody from Louisiana listens to this episode too. And let's into what we're talking about next week. Next week, you can hear me talk about one of the worst games I've ever played for this podcast, Mega Man X7.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've only played X5, so
X5's fine.
And the Legends games. That's it. That's all I've got for Mega Man.
Legends are great.
I've only played of the Mega Man's Mega Man Legends, but when it was ported to the Nintendo 64. Mega Man X1.
Great game.
I actually had that on the computer. I think I've tried Mega Man X2 when I had the collection, which I promptly also got rid of. And definitely played all the up till 9 at least. I never finished 9.
9, I've played most of the regular series. I'm actually about to do Mega Man 11 later this year, and then the regular numbered series will be done. I mean, there's still other games I'm missing, but I love the Mega Man series. We got to X7, and it's one of the worst games I've ever played. So, kudos there. You'll hear about that next week. As I unfortunately roped in 3 other people to suffer with me. So, go listen to that. And Richard, where can people find you at?
Well, like I said in the beginning, you could find me on my YouTube channel, Rich Kale, where I play through various games and franchises. I mean, I'm working through the Assassin's Creed series on there, but I also worked through the Sherlock Holmes games. I think by the time this one premieres, it'll be after I've finished Sherlock Holmes The Awakened, the remake of it, which was very brilliantly done. But I also play through other games, some old, some new. So you could find me up there. You could also find my fics that I've written up on various websites like Fanfiction, Comic Vine, Archive of Our Own. So please check everything out. I greatly appreciate it.
All right. And Alan, did you have anything to plug?
I'm on Blue Sky, if that counts.
That does.
I'd be at alanjp.bsky.social. There we go.
Hey, it's more reputable than, what's that thing? It's...
It'll always be Twitter. I don't care what he says. It's Twitter. Fuck him. So that's how I feel about Elon Musk. I actually blocked him on Twitter, speaking of Twitter. Because I got tired of seeing his tweets every so often. I'm like, I don't follow him. Why are you showing me his stupid tweets?
I'm surprised that even worked for you. I'm not surprised if it like just undoes it later at like the next update. It's like auto-programmed to unblock or whatever. Unblock somebody.
I'm just surprised it wouldn't just uninstall it. You don't want to listen to me, then how dare you use my platform?
That would be a good one too.
I really don't use Twitter. I used to like Twitter. I only use it now to promote the podcast here and there, and a few people see it because fucking Twitter. Like, it just... I liked it until he bought it, but
I'm on it, but I lurk, I follow who I want to follow, and that's it.
How it should be.
I mean, I get too many advertisements and tweets from that I'm being shown like by people that are very far right, and I'm like,
I was gonna say the For You page is just toxic.
Yeah, it's so much of that. I'm like, why are you even showing me this? Like, I don't follow any of these people. I have nothing to do. Why are you putting this in my notifications? Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to see anything political. I'm here. I just want my video games.
Also, every follower I have on Twitter, which grows actually every day by about 2, is all bots.
But remember, he got rid of the bots. Remember?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. He what he did was he moved them all to my profile to follow me. What he did.
Hey, having bots follow you makes the number go up, though.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you get over.
I finally post something and I just get like 100 replies. They're all bots.
Hey, that's still pretty good. I get nothing. I don't get much. I get something.
It's just beep in bio. That's all it is. That's all the replies say.
Oh, so it's just like, okay, like follow our OnlyFans, and we're not real, but click this link and give us your money.
Yeah, can't wait.
All right, fuck Twitter. If you enjoyed this episode over 650 other episodes of this podcast, you can find everything we do on Podbean. You can search in the search bar, and you never know. We cover all sorts of different movies, comics, TV shows, video games. Go check out our giant catalog. If you want to hear the rest of our Assassin's Creed stuff, everything is in the show notes. If you missed something, it will all be there, what we published before this, right? Easy to find. I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro because Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram. You'll see a link to her link tree in the show notes. And we'll give a shout out to Bill Tucker, the Gamer Looks at 40. Definitely go check out his podcast. He's currently talking lots of Final Fantasy for the rest of this year, probably. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, audio only, but we found all the different platforms. And rate and reviews wherever you get your podcast. And that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later.